The very first time I went to foster care, I couldn't fall asleep because I felt so scared. The very first time I went to foster care, I held into my snuggly, wuggly little brown bear. On the first day I was in foster care, I was so sad because I couldn't find mommy or daddy anywhere.
On this day, I went to foster care. I asked, why do I have to leave my parents? That just wasn't fair. The very first time I went to foster care, I had to leave home so quickly I didn't have time to get the ribbons for my hair. The very first time I went to foster care, I had to go without any shoes on. I left without one single pair. The very first time I was picked up for foster care, I had to leave in my jammies. I didn't have time to grab any underwear. The very first day I spent in foster care, I was only able to grab my favorite shirt mommy brought me with the little bitty tear. The very first night I spent in foster care, I stared at every car that passed by thinking it was my parents, but I didn't see them anywhere. I looked out for every single window, but they never ever showed up there. That very next day, when I was in foster care, my foster parents told me it was going to be okay, and I started to forget that I was ever scared. I began to save and wish mommy and daddy could come there. On the third day, I was in foster care. My new parents brought me cotton candy when we were at the state fair. On the fourth day, I was in foster care. My foster parents helped me draw pictures of my parents and I posted them everywhere. The very next week, I was in foster care. My foster family brought me red, white,